These muggles are tripping.
Uh,
Fuck.
hello to everybody out there in Steamland. How we doing? All my magic users, all my muggles out there, all trying to come together. Smiling. That's it. Got a nice head shake from Rashawn. That made the whole day worthwhile. Just had to see if I could get that one in there. As we go. It is I, Josh the Birdman, back in the steam tunnels with my guys, with my brothers, all trying to crack me up here. This episode's gonna be hard to keep a straight face on because I got two of the funniest gentlemen I know who in the warm up were absolutely cracking me up the entire way. But let's bring it back in. Let's introduce it. Bring it into the Star Child. How are we doing today there?
Ready to walk the highways and byways of funk.
Oh, as always, just sitting there with the chill. He's got that pre-chilled on. You're like that. You're like a martini glass, right? We get the ice in it, the water. Just put it in there. It's got that frost on it before we put in the main event, the alcohol.
To be clear, I never go near vodka, but yes.
Maybe gin now and again.
What's that?
Maybe gin now and again. You can be a gin.
Yeah, my wife's waspy, so you know.
Okay, yeah. I mean that's fair. We can give her that. She can have that. She can have the.
So martini. She got me on the gin train.
Okay, she can have the martini, vodka or gin as it goes. But in the end, we'll stick to your rum or your bourbon. I know that you had some good bourbon over at your place the other day. So
indeed,
why it had Thomas Jefferson on it, we're still not sure, but still.
I guess he used to be like that was a thing that he did, but it's not like he made a fortune on it, right?
They all were. They all did it all. They all distilled. They all smoked weed. We know it. We saw Dazed and Confused. We're there. Right. Where every good child should learn his American history. And speaking of that, and speaking of knowing his American history amazingly well, bringing it around to the guy who's gonna either make you or break you, put you over the top at 21 or get you to bust out for the night. And either way, he's happy. It's the Three of Clubs. It's Rashawn Smith. How we doing today?
Doing well, my man. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. You got that smiling face on there. You're looking happy today, looking chill in your space. You getting your engines revved up? You getting ready to go?
Yeah, I wish I had something good to say on that, but
that's all right. We know what to expect from you. We know you're up there getting warmed up like Brad Pitt in Snatch, right? After he gets hit a couple of times, just has to crack the old neck and get the shoulders back a little bit.
Snatch.
I feel like sometimes I sound like Brad Pitt from Snatch when I get going.
My mom wants a caravan.
Periwinkle Blue, boys.
Periwinkle Blue.
Periwinkle Blue.
Did you understand a word he just said? If I can ever get my cousin over in England to listen to this, and he's from Ohio, by the way, and now speaks with an affected English accent, which I can't blame him for because he's been there for well over 20 years.
It'll happen. Yeah,
it's going to happen. It is always just cracks us up because he's from Ohio, and he's like, "Oh, that's lovely," and you're like, "Shut the fuck up! You're from the Buckeye State. Knock that shit off, will you?" But still, I'm sure even he would groan at my attempts at English accents. I'm sure.
I can't believe I'm gonna put this out there, but this is how much I care about the show and that I want our viewership to grow. Way back in the day when I had a little bit of a watching Snatched and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels phase, where I literally just watching back and forth. I would watch scenes whenever I had like a couple of minutes free. I had a little bit of a phase, but the point being is that because I watched it so much, when I got drunk, I would then sort of subconsciously slip into some really bad cocky. And I would just launch it out in public.
That is amazing.
My friends would just
Awesome.
like, what?
I'm gonna get you buffed up.
And then Because at first it was like I was just fucking with people because I just wanted to try and do it. And then after a while, I got so into it, so fucked up that even when I stopped trying, every once in a while, I'd just slip out, just come right out.
So, well, I know you're almost full. You know, you're Wednesday. I think you said you will be fully ready to go out and face the COVID world and kick its ass, as we know you can and we know you will. But when that happens, I got to get both of you over here. I'll get my brisket going. We'll get the alcohol flowing because I just want to hear you say, Vincent, you fat bastard.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try not to get to that level of drunk because it slips out. Similar to in a physical way when I was in Montreal one time and I ripped my my jeans bowling. I didn't have a change of pants and we were still gonna go out for the rest of that night. People in Montreal are really nice, so let me go into every establishment. But every once in a while, especially the gentleman's one, I know my wife can hear me, but every once in a while, like the bad Cockney, it would slip out.
Yeah, all right then. Hey.
The cock would slip to the knee. So there you go.
Hey.
A long time ago, I used to be really good at accents. I feel like, you know, the pandemic kind of put me inside, but like I was like the person to go to for the fake phone call. You know what I mean? Because yeah, I did.
That would have been amazing.
What's that?
That would have been amazing. But
yeah, I was the guy.
You got the family background being from Haiti, so you know I know you have some patois in there and a few other things. That
yeah, well, Haitian I could just speak Creole, but you know,
right.
Jamaican and I had a decent Scottish, and I had a decent Cockney, and I had a decent British, and I had a decent Irish, and I had a decent Indian for a little while, and I had like a Dominican accent for a little while.
4 of those were the same. I just want to point out.
We're saying they're blended together, but you know.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, you know, if you're doing a Scottish accent, it's something like this.
It's pretty good.
But then if you're doing an Irish accent, the Irish accent has to come from the back of your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But then if you're doing a Cockney accent, it's got to be something with a little bit guttural. And you're kind of tripping over your own tongue. But the trick is the vowels. Don't worry so much about that.
Your Cockney's more like Scottish than your Scottish is Scottish.
Scotland, that's the trick, you know, and that's the thing. Like you focus on the vowels more than you focus on the consonants. That was the trick. So I would fuck with Kim all day because she's like a quarter Scottish and does not care.
Okay. Didn't want to throw down and fight you. No. Old guy used to come into one of the gyms I worked at years ago, and I said something just too familiar or just too off the cuff for him, and like, absolutely, Mr. McCann was ready to fucking throw down. This guy had been about 75 and was just absolutely like, I will fuck you up. That was entirely it over just the smallest of things. So I was like, oh, what am I gonna? Okay. He could probably still whip my ass at 75. I mean, you know, like we'll go with that. We'll go with that stereotype for sure. So, you know, Scottish people, don't fuck with them.
Hey, experience in fights, experience matters.
So. Yeah, there is a lot to be said for
that. And being that close to death, you don't have a lot to hold back on.
No, man, no. But on that,
what consequence you gonna give a 75-year-old?
I'm gonna shoehorn this segue in to say it's gonna take a lot of emotion. And speaking of emotion, let's take it over to today's subject of movie soundtracks. Right? The fact is,
a shoehorn. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna shoehorn that. I'm gonna shoehorn that sucker in there. I'm gonna make it fit. God damn it, you get in there. You get in there now. Make this happen. But in all seriousness, the esteemed gentlemen have been convening and talking about music in our favorite movies, films, television shows, you know, tying it all together in that wonderful pop culture stew that we like to make, and all the other, all the other thoughts that bounce around in our head on a regular day, as well as, you know, who got Lord knows what else. But we were talking a little bit about some of the movie soundtracks that we enjoyed and why we enjoyed them, and we wanted to share that with the people a little bit. And where we're going. It's it's quite the vast subject. It is something that we all have a reason for, and we all have a favorite. Sometimes the soundtrack and the soundtrack or the score is better than the movie itself, which is always when life gets particularly tricky.
You broke out your Scotch.
Oh, I did. Did I? Oh, sliding into the Scottish. I'm like, hey, sure.
Oh God.
Fucking. I always feel for Scottish. You just gotta pucker your mouth up and pretend you're as drunk as shit. But hey, all right. All Scottish people, you can line up.
Never ever hears this because he'll probably never talk to me again.
You know. No, let it. But no, it is. It actually, we're gonna get around to the Scottish thing in the end when I finish up my soundtrack list here as we go into it. But often it is one of those things that what I find the most we think about when we think about music in movies is that it ties us to the emotion, ties us to the emotional place of the film and what it made us feel at that particular time. So, starting my list off here as we get going, I wanted to start with anything and everything John Williams, because when it comes to the orchestral, I still think he's the king. He's, it's a bit of a cliche, but every major soundtrack that I can think of that is, mainly symphonic, and I think about that still gets my heart racing, goes back to that man. Now, we're Boston boys, so I used to get to see him conduct every summer on the Esplanade. Here we have a big 4th of July concert. I actually saw him conduct his last 4th of July concert where he did Jurassic Park. Here's a movie I don't even tend to associate as much with Williams, but wonderful theme song, right? You hear that da 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 da. I don't know how he does it, but somehow that small chord progression, you're thinking of fucking dinosaurs. These tall, majestic dinosaurs, and Sam Neill doing that typical Steven Spielberg thing, slowly taking off his sunglasses as they push into his face in the screen. He's just giant and amazed. And our first CGI delve into dinosaurs, which I'm sure if we go back and look at now, they're not so hot anymore. But nevertheless, that idea it's there, but it just ties it to it. I still say it's certain music will give you that lift and you have to fight it. This isn't John Williams, but anyone. I work people out for a living on a regular basis. I'm telling you, if you play the Rocky, if you play Gonna Fly Now, people will work harder. I've witnessed it constantly. It's irresistible. There's something about it. Music literally changes your emotional state. It's been tracked. Even I'll put the bunny quotes up there scientifically, but they have even done some brain scans showing you what different music does and what different parts of your brain it activates. And Williams just consistently somehow could watch a film, look at it, and and write some kind of motif to go with it. As a matter of fact, in my favorite being Star Wars, I know the musical cues in it because I've seen all of those movies, all 9 of them I can point out, where the character has their own theme that goes with it, each and every one. And that was something that was very unique to him at the time in the 70s where he'd done that. Where he took it from was opera, taking it from actually Wagner, and they call it Leitmotif. And the idea that, once again, each character does have a little theme song. You can vary it. You can change it from minor chords to major chords, depending on the emotion. Depending on that emotion you want to evoke, because minor chords are known for bringing out more of a sadness feeling. You can play songs that you've heard before and change the key from major to minor, and people will get a different impression from it. So, you hit those first couple of chords of Indiana Jones, a bump, 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 bump. Even in that, you feel it, you're on that horse. You're looking for the arc, man. You're getting all excited. You're like, I can do this. Even if the dog's name was Indiana.
Yeah.
Which was the name of George Lucas's dog, which rode co-pilot with him in his truck. And he thought that was so funny. That's how we get Chewbacca. So bam, that's how all the universes come together. Thank you very much.
Mind blown.
Mind blown emotions right there. But you hear those first couple of chords. That is a sheer and amazing talent to try and bring that together. And very few people in this planet can do that. There are others and others coming up. Of course, since Williams is now more or less retired, and he's getting into his twilight years and doesn't really want to compose anymore. But that is an amazing idea, and that's really, no matter what the basis of the soundtrack is, we're always trying to go for some form of emotion and some form of emotion.